What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt activist, and today we have with us a very interesting whiskey from my absolute favorite distillery in the whole world. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Macallan. This one is the edition number 2. What? Before we begin, I just want to welcome our first-time viewers. Thank you for clicking through to that thumbnail. If content like this interests you and the sight of a middle-aged man telling you everything you want to know about whiskey is your cup of tea, then I suggest you better subscribe, or like it, or share it, or comment, or you know what? Just sit back and relax and watch it. I'm good either way. But if you do subscribe, that'd be great. Hey, you know what I'm talking about. Then to my regular viewers, woo, you guys are back? You guys are back for more? Well, that means you have very low standards, and I thank you for that. And finally, to my Patreon gang and my YouTube members, thank you for your monthly contributions. They mean the world to me and shows that I have a degree of support at an absolutely other level, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Now let's get on with the whiskey. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go on about how I feel about Macallan and how Macallan has always let me down and how they used to be amazing, but now they're pieces of shit, and then I just don't want to get into that, okay? Because I think we've done enough of that, and I don't want to do that anymore because it puts me in a foul mood, and 2023 I've decided I'm not going to be in a foul mood in 2023, and that's it. That's just the way it is, okay? So we're going to keep things civil, we're going to keep things pleasant and positive and encouraging, which is why I have with me this Macallan edition number 2. As you can see, I've kind of been through this. I've had this whiskey since 2016. That's the year it was released. I picked it up at travel retail. Okay, and this is part of their limited edition series for that year. So apparently, you know, Macallan said, we're going to do some limited edition stuff. Surprise! And they said, oh well, let's bring out this whiskey. This is called the edition number 2. And why is it special? Why is it special? So this is what happened. Bob Dalgarno, former whiskey maker at Macallan, now at Glen Turret, if I'm not mistaken, said, hey, let me go find a restaurant. Let me go find a Spanish restaurant that was voted the best restaurant in the world, and I'm going to collaborate with the people that run that restaurant. Good idea? I think fantastic idea. Okay, so he went to this restaurant. It's called El Salar de Can Roca. Now I know the way I'm pronouncing it is A, either racist, or B, absolutely wrong. So forgive me on both counts, but the name of that restaurant is on the screen right now. Okay. All my pronunciations are going to be completely wrong, so please accept my apologies beforehand. Okay, so he went to this restaurant and he said, hey guys, let's do this. You guys pick a few barrels, a few casks. I'll pick a few casks, and then I'll make a whiskey out of it. How does that sound? And they went, we don't understand the way you're speaking because your Scottish is impossible to decipher. If you haven't spoken to Bob Dalgarno, you know what I'm talking about. It's very difficult to understand that man. So I'm pretty sure the Roca brothers who run the place must have had a grand old time trying to understand Mr. Dalgarno. Anyway, as I'm sure he made himself clear and he got his message across, they said, great idea. Let's go pick up some casks from these bodegas around town in Jerez, and we'll give them to you and you make the whiskey out of it. Right? They said, fine, cool, great idea. Let's go. So Bob went first and he said, you know what, I'm going to pick a Trevasa cask. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, please forgive me, I'm not Spanish. And he said, you know what, I'm going to pick that. Then the sommelier, Josep Roca, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, chose a Jose Miguel Martin cask. Then pastry chef Jordi Roca, I'm sure they're all wrong, I'm pronouncing them all wrong, chose the Vasaima cask made of American oak. This is when I lose it. And finally, the head chef, Juan Roca. Oh my God. He chose the Diego Martin cask. Oh man. Guys, I'm just going to put the names up on the screen now. They're up on the screen now. Just read them. And please, I'm really sorry if I butchered every single name that I just said. But you know what? In my defense, Those Spaniards can't pronounce my name either. So, you know what? Even Stevens. My job here is to just provide you with information, not pronunciation. Okay? Don't put that added pressure on me. Anyway, oh, by the way, the sound that you're hearing, raining cats and dogs outside. Great weather for a whiskey review. Right? So then they said, okay, here are these 4 bodegas, and let's select some casks, empty casks from there, and then we'll mature the whiskey at Macallan, and then we'll make a whiskey, and we'll call it Macallan Edition No. 2. And so what do we know about this whiskey? Let me go to my notes. What do we know about this whiskey? Yes, we know that this whiskey includes first fill Jose Martin casks, first and second fill Diego Martin casks, first and second fill Vasima, I don't know, American puncheons, it's on the screen, and first fill Travasa casks. Okay, this is bottled at 48.2% ABV. It is non-colored, natural color. I'm not 100% sure if it's chill filtered. I don't remember, to be very honest. Maybe it is. I know it's definitely not colored, so that's the original color. I'm not 100% sure if it's chill filtered. I wish I did my research. I never do my research, but I love finding out when I'm on camera. Actually, I love being proven wrong when I'm on camera. I find that more fun. So, the Macallan Edition No. 2. So, here's my history with it. I bought this whiskey in 2016 during one of my trips through the airport. It was at Travel Retail. I picked it up. I wasn't that much of a Macallan hater at the time. I'm still not a Macallan hater, don't get me wrong. The reason I get upset when I drink poor Macallan is because I really do love the brand, and because some of the best whiskeys I've ever tasted were old school Macallans, and so it's so sad when you drink something that's substandard and you're like, oh, how can they put their name, behind this juice? And it's just that's what upsets me. So if you do see me upset, it's because I have this emotional connection to Macallan. It's one of the first whiskeys that I ever bought, the Macallan 12 Sherry Oak. And I fell in love with it. It was just so beautiful. Even the 12 Fine Oak was amazing. And I'm talking about the old school. When I say old school, I'm talking like old school for me, like 2007, 8, that sort of ring. So, and now when you drink the Macallan, which is like, you think to yourself, how, why? Anyway, again, see, I'm ranting. I shouldn't have been ranting. I said I'm not going to rant because 2023 is about positivity and encouragement and happiness and not being irritated. So, anyway, edition No. 2. So I'm going through the duty free. I look at this whiskey and I'm like, hey, here's another Macallan. And it cost me something like $100 maybe, roughly. And I was like, yeah, that's a good price for a whiskey. Let me buy this whiskey. And now I found out, holy shit, it's like a $1,000 average on anywhere you look. $800 to $1,000, like 600-700 pounds, 800 pounds. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so it's selling for a lot. But it is what it is. I mean, it's a Macallan. It's an old Macallan. I mean, it's like released almost 7 years ago. So maybe, I don't know. So yeah, and it's bottled at, finally a good ABV. 48.2%. 48.2% ABV, which I'm really happy about. I think that's a good ABV to bottle this. Yeah, cool. So now we know, right? So Macallan does like a lot of collaborations with artists, with chefs, and then they commemorate those collaborations by launching whiskey. So great marketing, great PR. If people who are familiar with this Spanish restaurant, and when they hear about them collaborating with Macallan, then it's almost certain that they will go and buy that whiskey. So super collaborative PR, marketing, genius ideas. I have to give it to them. It's unbelievable how good these guys are at doing that. I wish they were as good at making whiskeys too. So shit, again, I ranted. Shouldn't have. Fuck. Anyway, so yes, so then so Bob Delgarno, who's a lovely gentleman, by the way, really nice guy. I interviewed him once, by the way, many years ago. He came down here to our neck of the woods for a tasting and a presentation, and I interviewed him for the same channel. I'll see if I can look up the video. It might still be there. And among other questions, I very naively asked him, I said, hey, what Macallans should I buy now that you think will increase in price so that I can sell them on auction later on? And Bob just looked at me like, you have special needs, don't you? Right? And I didn't get it at the time. He was like, yeah, well, you know, and we'd rather drink our whiskeys. And I was like, that's stupid. Why don't you just sell them? Because they're not worth drinking, which is what I really should have said, but I didn't. But yeah, anyway, so Bob, lovely guy. He put these whiskeys together, matured them in the casks that I had mentioned previously, bottled it at 48.2% ABV. I'm not 100% sure, like I said, if he chill filtered it or not, but I know this is natural color, and I've drunk quite a bit of it. I think I shared it with some friends as well. And what you need to know is, I think it's been 3 or 4 years, if not more, since I had this whiskey last. And so I thought, hey, let me bring this out today and I'll see if it's evolved in any way. I kind of remember how I felt about it when I had it the first time. So I want to see what it looks like. There you go. Yeah, so I want to see whether it's become better, it's become worse, it's still the same. Am I going to be upset? Am I going to be happy? Or am I just going to sign off indifferently? Who knows what's going to happen? Which is what makes live television so interesting, doesn't it? Well, there's not live anyway. So, shall we? Let's go. That's what it looks like. I like that color. It's like a coppery bronze, whatever you want to say. Nice. Ooh, very intensely sherried. Maybe because I know it's not your traditional sherry casks. But casks from so many different bodegas and so many different combinations that it's very hard to pinpoint a certain type of sherry. Could be all Oloroso, maybe. Could be a mix. I'm not 100% sure. But it's certainly a very, very interesting nose. I like it quite a bit. I want to say blood oranges, vanilla, red apples, clove, hints of oak, dry fruits, potpourri, toffee, cinnamon, figs. Yeah. I like this nose. This is a very good nose. There's nothing off, no sulfur, no off note, nothing overpowering. Everything is fairly well balanced. Is this the Macallan that's going to change our mind? Is it? Okay, well, I like the nose. I really, really hope. I remember very, very specifically what it is that I did not like about this whiskey when I had it for the first time, long time ago, and also because I made some notes which I referred to. And so it'll be interesting to see if that negative quality has disappeared, because if that negative quality has disappeared, then this could be something outstanding. Or that negative quality has amplified and made this whiskey worse. So I don't know what I'm going to expect. So, and that's what it's exciting about live television. Chin chin. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need a minute. Because you know that negative quality that I was telling you about, that I didn't like in the first time that I had it? Well, it's twice as prominent now. It's, oh God. Oh, and I'll tell you what it is. There's a certain astringency, a bitterness that lingers in your finish the moment you swallow the whiskey, and it creates this really, really unwanted aftertaste in your mouth. And I don't know what it is. I've had very, very good friends of mine whose palates I trust, who've drunk this whiskey and have said, oh, we love it. And I'm like, no, don't you get it? Don't you get that bitterness, that astringency, that really, really sort of bitter varnish right at the end in this? And they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, am I the only idiot? Because there are no batches of this, right? This is just, I don't know if it can't be batch variants, because, you know, they bottled it and they went out, and this is a limited edition, right? Limited edition. But, oh man. Yeah. Yeah. It's there. Ah. It's there. Hasn't gone. Oh God. You know, if you ignore that bitter varnish, you have red oranges, some oak, some cinnamon, red apples, and some nutmeg. But man, shite. Yes. So. You know what? I think this kind of a mood requires a different type of representation, and so I'm going to I'm going to change my perspective. There you go. These put me in a good mood always. So yes. Had a bad whiskey, that's fine, not a big deal. This whiskey sells for about £700-800, not a problem. I'm not buying it again. I bought it at $100, so £80 or whatever it was. It starts off decently, but then dives into a pile of shit very, very quickly. So, you know, I wasn't expecting anything else. I did have, I put a little bit of hope in it, but hey, we all need hope, don't we? Hope is a good thing. Sometimes they're dashed, sometimes they're not. But it is what it is. At least we have these sexy sunglasses to tide us over. And say that, you know what? Ooh, by the way, we match. Fucking hell, bro, come on. This is an expensive whiskey. This is a limited edition whiskey. This was collaboration with arguably the best restaurant in the world at the time. What is it called? Forget the name. El Salar de Can Roca. Again, racist overtones in my pronunciations, and I apologize profusely. It's only because I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Yes, I mean, if I was one of the owners, if I was one of the brothers that went into this collaboration, and then I drank this whiskey, I would have gone to Bob like, Bob, ooh, this is caca, but Bob wouldn't have understood. He's Scottish. Okay, again we're ranting, and I don't want to do that, and it is what it is. So, we tried, and that's one thing you can't say that I don't do is not try. we tried, I took out a whiskey that I was like, you know what, I had a bit of a mixed reaction to it 4 or 5 years ago. I'm gonna let it breathe, I'm gonna let it evolve. I'm sure something good will come out of it. Hopefully the negative aspect of this whiskey just flies away somehow, which of course, you know, me being stupid and delusional, but as it turns out, that negative trait, that bit of varnish, astringency, just stayed in that bottle like a genie, like a genie with hemorrhoids, and then it just festered inside and made it worse, and it's now twice as prominent, and I don't like it still. Oh, and I really wanted to like it. So, and here we are at the end of another video, supremely disappointed, but keeping our hopes alive and soaring into the sky, because it's 2023 and it's, like I said, it's a year of positivity, which is why we have these sexy sunglasses on. It's raining outside. I love it. By the way, where I live, rain is awesome. We get rain like 3 times of the year, so when we get rain, it's awesome. Sorry, Scotland, UK, wherever it is rainy and you're watching. I know you're like, what an idiot. We want the sun. No, we hate the sun. Believe me, we wish we didn't have the sun. We want overcast, gloomy, rainy, windy, cold weather. Oh, just to sit outside and drink whiskey and smoke a cigar and be happy. And you know what? This video has gone on for too long without me really saying anything worth your while or for your benefit. So we are going to sign off now and say, hey Macallan, we tried, but you failed yet again. So there you go. Thank you for being a part of this video. Once again, thank you to my first time viewers, to my returning viewers, and above all, my Patreon gang and my YouTube members. You guys are awesome. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.